Good afternoon and welcome to the 2026 Virtual University and Degree Information Fair. This event is running all week long and is comprised a variety of diploma to degree pathway sessions with some of Seneca's partner institutions. If you are not able to attend any of the sessions happening this week, all of these webinars are being recorded and will be made available on our website later on in the week. My name is Jennifer Kloosterman, and I am one of the Academic Pathways team members here at Seneca Polytechnic. We are here to support students on their diploma to degree pathway, whether that be at Seneca or beyond with one of Seneca's partner institutions. If at any point you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our team, connect with us, and we can definitely assist you with your pathways questions and support. We are very happy today to have two representatives here from University of Toronto St. George campus, as well as University of Toronto Scarborough campus, to talk about the LAT and ASU pathways that are available with U of T. So I will pass it over to my colleagues, and after the short presentation, we will rejoin and we can have a little bit of time for questions. If you do have a question, we ask that you just post that into the chat and we will go through those near the end. Thanks.
Perfect. And I can kickstart us off. So hello, everyone. My name is Blake Smith. I'm the Academic Advisor and Admissions Officer for the Diploma to Degree program for entrance to the Faculty of Arts and Science at the St. George downtown campus at the University of Toronto. So just a quick little overview. I want to tell you all about our program, introduce what the learning environment looks like at U of T, including what are some of the opportunities you can explore, as well as what supports are available and how you can find community and make connection. So to dive right in, for Seneca, LAT, and ASU students, this pathway allows you to start degree studies as a second-year upper year transfer student with up to 6 transfer credits. You would be able to enroll in courses and programs in the Faculty of Arts and Science and graduate with either an Honors Bachelor of Arts or an Honors Bachelor of Science from the University of Toronto. In order to be eligible for this program, you would need to be a Seneca LAT or ASU student, have a CGPA of 3.0 in your diploma studies, receive a recommendation from your college advisor, and have achieved a grade of 60% or higher in your U of T qualifying course, which I'll explain a little bit more about in one moment. And then just a friendly plug that our applications for 2026 summer qualifying courses is opening on Monday, February 2nd. So what is a qualifying course? So the qualifying course is your first opportunity to start studying at U of T, where you would enroll in one course, attend lecture, complete assessments, the exam, but it also allow you to orient to campus and explore what do these buildings look like? What is the library like? What learning supports can I be utilizing? So it's really an orientation and familiarity tool in addition to giving you an additional credit that you would then have towards your degree studies. And so what does attending U of T look like? U of T allows you to be very flexible with your degree. So there's over 300 programs, there's over 3,000 courses, and you would be able to build your timetable based on what your programs and what your areas of interest are. Just to give a sort of figure, the average class size that you would be looking at would be anywhere from 50 students to 400 students. And then in addition to classes and the very traditional learning environment, U of T also has many opportunities and experiences that can allow you to explore new things. So whether that's through practical hands-on learning labs or internships or research opportunities, or whether those are opportunities that bring you abroad into different countries or locales, or whether they are community-based course offerings like field trips or Indigenous pathway experiences. There's tons of different ways that you can supplement and complement your learning. And then another thing to plug would be academic supports. So there are a number of academic supports that you will always have available to you, whether it's one-on-one support through the Academic Writing Center or accessibility services for disability and accommodation related support. one-on-one support through the Learning Strategist Office, or one-on-one support with understanding academics, financial planning, degree planning through the Registrar's Office. Additional supports that are available to you on campus that sort of fall outside of those purely academic ones, but are just as interesting, can be the Center for International Experience, which houses our student immigration advising team for any immigration advising questions, as well as our Center for Career Exploration and Education, whether you're super goal-oriented and looking at careers on campus or off campus, looking to have your resume or cover letter reviewed, or you're trying to discover what's next. They're always available. Or if you're looking to get involved on campus, there's the Dean of Students Office, which can support you with joining or creating clubs, mentorship, or opportunities or events on campus. And then there's health and wellness, which is the support for whether it's same-day counseling or visiting it for the clinic, getting licensed and registered healthcare providers support is always useful. And then one thing that I want to highlight, not the most, but as a huge part about exploring university studies is there's so much more to university than just your academic studies alone. Finding your community and whether that's through clubs or intramurals or student government, it's a way to make lifetime and long-lasting commitments, or just a way of enjoying what U of T really has to offer. The Faculty of Arts and Science is 30,000 students strong, so it's a very large pool of students. So there's so many ways to connect or network within it. And then also we're situated in the #1 most diverse city in Canada, #2 or #1 most diverse city in the world, depending on which review you're looking at. But there's so many art galleries, restaurants, parks, music venues, hiking trails. Toronto has so much to offer on campus, but also off campus. So it's one thing that I would say I encourage you to consider. And then the last thing, so if you're interested at all in taking a look at what it would be like to apply to the St. George campus, you'll be able to scan this QR code. You can also visit our website, Diploma to Degree, Woodsworth College, and you'll be able to find all of this information. Again, my name is Blake Smith. I'm the academic advisor that'll support you from considering this pathway all the way to if you are admitted and graduate. So you're always welcome to reach out to me at diploma-to-degree@utoronto.ca, or you can call our general office at 416-978-4444. And then just a quick plug, because I know that there may be some people interested in U of T that are not part of the LAT or ASU programs. There are a number of alternative pathways to study at U of T, whether it's the Faculty of Arts and Science or a different faculty entirely. So if you are an ASU or LAT student, I always recommend reaching out to me first, even if it's to chat about a different pathway, and I'd be happy to sort of walk you through those. If you're not an ASU or LAT student and you're interested in the Faculty of Arts and Science, you are still able to apply. This QR code will bring you to that pathway, as well as the Faculty of Engineering and Faculty of Architecture QR codes will bring you to those respective pathways as well. I'll leave these here for just a moment longer, and then I'll turn it over to my colleague Shakib to chat about the UTSC pathway, and then I'll be here for questions afterwards. Perfect.
All right, thanks, Blake. Can you see my screen, Blake?
Yes, I can.
Perfect, awesome. So hi, everyone. My name is Shakib Ahmed. I am a student recruitment officer at the UT Scarborough campus. Now, mind you, a lot of my information will sound similar to what Blake has said, but there are just some slight nuances in the UT Scarborough mechanisms, how it's done and how it works in terms of our pathway programs with Seneca. So to get started, UT Scarborough is one of the 3 distinct campuses that the University of Toronto has. And one thing Blake will emphasize, I will emphasize, everybody at UT will emphasize is we are one large university. So it doesn't matter which of the 3 campuses you go to, you got the same world-class education. And, I have no idea how many universities there are in the world, but what I do know is that we're number 21 in the world. So we do have a lot of quality, a lot of standards that goes into all the work that we do. And the quality of education really speaks, to the global nature of learning you do. We have over, hundreds of different countries where our students and alumni work in. So students are bringing the knowledge out to the world, but also they're also bringing knowledge from the world into the University of Toronto. So it's a really cool network of learning. At the UT Scarborough campus, we are constantly growing. Our Indigenous house is almost built. We have a state-of-the-art Sammy Rahim building for innovation and entrepreneurship, which has really unique and fun classroom settings. We're also getting a Scarborough Academy of Medicine Integrated Health to really kind of bolster those health professional programs for years to come. And just a couple other projects too. I'm a firm believer in, good things come to those who wait. And, if you've been waiting, those cool buildings are coming, and it'll make UT Scarborough even more exciting for many, many years to come. So let's begin with the Seneca College pathways at UTSC then. Similarly to Woodford College at UT Scarborough, we do have an LAT option, which kind of, steers in the direction of either an honors Bachelor Arts program or an honors Bachelor of Science program within psychology and health studies. If you are in the ASU program, you have a few more options in the sciences, but there are exceptions to this rule. Computer science, math, stats, paramedicine, and health science stream programs do not apply. In general, I have put a list of programs that aren't compatible with these pathway agreements. Again, those are kind of some of our more competitive programs, so computer science, stats, any of our business programs. So just review that list if you do want to go into those programs. We can chat. I'll throw up our emails on the screen at the end, just to kind of show you how you may be able to apply those programs in other ways. So what are the benefits of this program? Of course, you get 2 credentials. You get your diploma as well as the University of Toronto degree. You also get a whole lot of transfer credits, which is really advantageous, especially for those who are exploring a bunch of different subjects and aren't really sure what we want to do. Having those transfer credits really helps you kind of get that head start, but also being at Seneca really helps you kind of, fine tune exactly what we want to learn and what we want to pursue as we kind of, go to this next step of our academic journey. And of course, that also allows with the smooth entry and transition from college into university. And so if you were to go into this pathway through UT Scarborough, this is kind of a snapshot of how it could look. You'll see you're doing your Seneca courses, and you're also doing optional UT Scarborough courses. And just like Blake said for the programs at Woodsworth, you do get up to 6 credits for your Seneca studies. And that's all gets applied to your UT degree, plus any visiting courses. So a lot of students will ask us, why should I do this pathway program? Why don't I just apply to university directly? Again, goes back to the exploration piece. People may want to start in college, but also you're not doing these credits for no reason, right? You do have the advantage of having up to 6 of these credits apply for your degree. It is possible, in theory, to finish your pathway in 4 years, both the Seneca and the UT components. But what we more often than not see is kind of 4.5 to 5 year mark. And I come from an advising background, and I'm in recruitment now. But what we always see is, take a little bit longer to finish your studies because you will see your grades do really well as well. So when you take those visiting courses over the summers, what are the benefits of this? And again, echoing Blake a lot here, it's an opportunity for you to explore and shop around to see if the UT Scarborough is a good fit for you. It lets you explore how universities are, meet new people, and kind of get to know the campus, the lecture spaces, where to get the best lunches, and really kind of, absorb yourself into the great community that Scarborough is. And again, jumpstarting that degree, right? You take university courses earlier, and that can count towards a degree, but again, it can really steer you in the direction of what you want to study moving forward. So in terms of eligibility, there is an application form provided by us to your program coordinator at Seneca, so they'll be in touch with you. The deadline is March 6th. We also have an early in early April, we have a UTSC virtual orientation. We go through things such as, the nuts and bolts of it all, right? How to add courses, how to register for visiting courses. We teach you how to use a timetable builder, as well as Acorn, where our students do a lot of their kind of administrative course-related matters. And so Seneca Pathway students always take visiting courses during the summers. That's just how our structure of our program is. In terms of being eligible, all transfer into degree studies takes place in September. We don't have a January entry for this, and the deadline to submit the transfer application would be in mid-March. So successful completion is required for your 2-year liberal arts or LAT or your ASU diploma. and you must have at least a 3.0 program GPA in your college courses, and you must be recommended, by your Seneca program coordinator as well. So again, just like the University of Toronto, just like I said, the University of Toronto is a large university, so the student supports do continue through all 3 campuses. We have a lot of tools and resources for you, so please do use these when you're a student at U of T. Everything from academic support and academic advising, health and wellness. We really want you to be your peak self, mental health-wise, physical health-wise, and we have people there to help you. Any kind of diverse learning needs, we have accessibility services. And of course, university unfortunately does have a cost to it. So we do have a registrar's office who does a wonderful job kind of going through, what your scholarship, award, and financial aid options are. And it is a place where we genuinely believe that you should be your authentic self at all times, with a student body of over 14,000 students and so many clubs and so many countries represented. I know it can be daunting to go into such a large university because there's so much to choose and so much to do, but that also just gives me kind of, the comfort knowing that there truly is something for everybody, whether it's a specific course or an extracurricular activity. We really do believe that there is something for everybody. And so I'll leave our emails up for a second here. Our UTSC Pathways email, that's who you'll work with in terms of any kind of questions as it pertains to the administrative process of getting into the pathway, applying, continuing, all those things. I know there may be some questions about graduate studies, so I've also put our School of Graduate Studies email as well as our School of Continuing Studies. We do also have a comparative education service, a great resource to use. So if you want to take a screenshot or take a photo of this slide, please do so. But the main email that you would be in touch with for this pathway would be that utsc.pathways@utoronto.ca. So that's all I've got. So I'll leave that email up for just a second or two longer. And then Blake, myself, and our wonderful colleagues at Seneca can really help see what else we can answer.
Thank you so much. That was super informative. Lots of helpful information there about the pathways. And yeah, so we did put the information is in the chat for graduate studies because this session was only for bachelor's degrees. So you can get in touch with graduate.information@utoronto.ca. There's another question here. I'm currently enrolled in a pharmaceutical regulatory and quality assurance course at Seneca. What could potentially be my next step or next courses that would be applicable to further advance my career? I'm thinking they may need to reach out to someone.
They can reach out to the Pathways email, and if they want to go to UT Scarborough, and then I'll let Blake speak to this. But if they email that email address, we can kind of work within our admissions team to see what the best option would be. It may be simply applying to us as a standard transfer student, if you will.
Another question we get a lot with the pathways is it okay if students don't do any visiting courses over the summers?
So we generally recommend it just from a perspective of you do get ahead, and it's a great transition tool, right? College learning and university learning is more and more over the years getting similar, but there are kind of nuances that we do teach in our courses. So we do see that students who are really successful do those visiting courses, and it really does help in terms of that transition piece, but also kind of really making sure that you like what you're studying, right? So it does really help from that perspective. Blake, anything to add?
No, I think that captures it. Of taking those additional courses, it gives you more opportunities to engage with U of T so that you can continue to orient yourself to that new pathway. It helps you to reaffirm, is this what you want to do? And it also helps you work towards that degree progress if you do continue with transferring.
And it could also potentially allow you to take a reduced course load in the subsequent years, which could kind of help you kind of, again, balance that transition a little better as well.
How would you know which course you should apply to as a qualifying course?
So in our orientation, we'll go through all that at UTSC again in April. But yeah, Blake, how would Woodsworth do it?
Yeah, so as part of the admission process, there's an interview with myself where we chat about your interests. We chat about what your program areas are. We take into consideration what courses you've excelled in or enjoyed previously, and all of those can help us to inform what qualifying course you would choose based off of what's available, what doesn't overlap with a transfer credit you'll already be receiving, and is well suited to your interests. So there's tons of options, but I would say don't be too worried about, I must have a specific course in mind before I apply.
Right.
If you're interested in the pathway, you can apply and trust that we'll give you that support so that you'll find a course that works well for you.
And what's the difference between a qualifying course and a visiting course?
So the qualifying course it's likely semantics to the different colleges in a way, or to the different pathways in a way. So the diploma to degree program uses a qualifying course to determine if students qualify for admission to degree studies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a computer programming and analysis student, and they're asking if they're eligible to transfer to the computer science program at U of T.
So that would be a general college transfer application. It is possible, but it is tricky. So one thing to note about U of T's computer science just as a whole, and I'm not too well versed, so I can't speak in total definites, but computer science at the University of Toronto is a very competitive program. And so there are numbers of spaces that are available and are not available. So I would say you're welcome to reach out to diploma to degree at utoronto.ca or the utsc.pathways email, and we could help you connect with the correct offices at our respective campuses that you could inquire further. But it wouldn't be eligible through the diploma to degree pathway for computer science.
As an LAT student, am I eligible to apply to the biochemistry major without completing the high school prerequisites if the major is unlimited?
So I was just typing that up from my perspective. At UT Scarborough, the LAT program is the only science option it allows you to kind of transfer into is that psychology and health studies. If you did want to pursue a major that's unlimited later on at UT Scarborough in the sciences, it would still be an expectation that if any courses require the high school requirement, that you kind of go back and take it, and then you would kind of work with our departments to ensure that you've checked off that box of having that prerequisite to the prerequisite.
Yeah, and I can just support that with my perspective that it's the sort of same thing, that those prerequisites will be enforced. So if you don't have them as you're transferring through this pathway, we can support you in looking at whether it's ILC online courses or some sort of equivalent course that can help you ensure that you have those prerequisites to take those programs or courses.
So, sorry, PND, can somebody?
Yeah, it's practical nursing.
Yeah, so we don't currently in our health science programs at UT Scarborough, we don't have any kind of pathway agreements right now. So because the health science stream programs for us are strictly direct entry from high school. You can be international or domestic, but you do have to be applying from your high school in order to pursue the health sciences. And I'll just add a bit to the business question as well. There are no transfers to business program. We don't have any agreements of that sort either. Okay, so again, I feel like this is for me, the health science and life sciences. So the health sciences stream is something new that we introduced at the University of Toronto a couple of years ago. It's kind of like an add-on into our life sciences. So you can still graduate pretty much the same courses, whether you're in the stream or not, but the health sciences stream does come with more co-curricular activities to kind of teach you those soft skills that may be required for you to be a compassionate, holistic healthcare worker, and it does look really good on your resume. And you also get to do a lot of fun, exciting activities, industry related, out of the classroom. So those are the differences. And so you could still apply for life science and still get a lot of those experiences, including taking a lot of those courses. But unfortunately, the health sciences version is again straight out of high school.
And then I can speak to Chloe in case you are interested in the St. George Diploma to Degree pathway. Human biology technically falls under life sciences.
Yes.
In terms of competitiveness, so admissions and program enrollment, just to make things a little bit more complicated, are two different things at U of T. So when you apply to the pathway for admission, It's not a very competitive pathway, and it's designed to be that way because we want, if you meet our eligibility criteria, and we want you to be successful with your transfer credits and start at U of T. And all students start at U of T sort of as undeclared for the diploma to degree pathway especially. And then you would apply to your programs, your majors, your minors, your specialists after you've been admitted. Human biology is a department within our Faculty of Arts and Science. They have unlimited or open enrollment programs that are not competitive, where you would be able to enroll in the human bio major, the health and disease major, without any competition. They do also offer specialist programs that have a limited number of spaces. So that's where some of that competitiveness can sort of come into play. If this is really complicated for anyone listening, this is what that orientation process is all about, is making sure that we know that all these nuances and intricacies can be really difficult. Start with what you're interested in, bring that to the conversation, and then we can help make sure you understand, okay, what does this pathway actually look like for me?
And the information about those orientation sessions are communicated to the students with enough time for them to get involved in stuff, right? Like they'll get that. Okay. Yes, and if you're a student in our BBA program, which is a degree, and you're interested in masters, please reach out to the graduate.information@utoronto.ca email, and they can give you a little bit more information about the admissions process for a grad program. Any more questions? We'll give you another minute or so to get those into the chat. SSW, so that's a social service worker diploma.
So again, no agreements formally. So you could apply as a like a classic transfer student from college into, you know, I would guess you would probably apply to social science and humanities. You could do that at any of our campuses, any of our 3 campuses. And like I said, there's no formal kind of agreement in place for pathways for that route. That doesn't mean you can't apply or thrive as a UT student. It just means there's no, you know, diploma to degree kind of option for that.
Yeah. Okay, so if any students have any further questions, hopefully you've taken down the email addresses that were on the screen before and those QR codes, which would be super helpful. We've also got the UTSC Pathways email there. And if you have any questions at all, you can also reach out to our team here. And if we don't have the answer, we will definitely get you in touch with the right contact, either at Seneca or at U of T. I'm just posting that information here for our academic pathways team. And yeah, Nan, again, for BTA program, there isn't a direct pathway from biotechnology at Seneca to U of T. So that would be, again, just checking the admission requirements and looking at that information to go about transferring and applying. So yeah, I think that's it for our session today. Again, there's lots of valuable resources here. And if anyone has any questions, please get in touch with us and we will connect you with the information and the resources that you need. So thanks everyone for attending today. And thank you so much to our colleagues at U of T for taking the time to be with us. This was super helpful. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Take care.